The Sixers continue the worst offseason ever. They bring in another aged vet. Somebody needs to wake me up from this terrible dream. I can't take it anymore. I am going to lose it, but I need to rant. Perfect. What is going on, everybody? RB here. Welcome into Philly Take with RB. Look, man, have you ever been promised false hope in your life in anything? It freaking sucks. And right now, the Sixers continue to drag this fan base through the mud of what has been the worst offseason ever. This has been an absolute atrocity. This is awful. This is awful. They keep on telling me, RB, chill, relax. Remember that? It's only July, relax. Even Daryl Morey said the roster's not going to look the same in September as it does in July. Well, here we are. Oh, wait. They got their prized possession. They bring back another aged vet. They bring back Danny Green. What? What is going on with this team? Well, the picture has been painted clearly. I will explain what I mean, and we'll talk about a few other things. But before we jump into it, a shout out to our sponsor of today's video. Shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Magic Spoon, the high quality cereal that will bring you back to your childhood. Magic Spoon is inspired by Saturday morning cartoons, but is made for the 21st century with high protein and less sugar. Can you believe it? Magic Spoon is also gluten-free, has just 4 to 5 grams of net carbs per serving with 0 grams of sugar and all natural flavors. Now, my favorite meal to start the day is always a bowl of cereal for breakfast, but I've had trouble finding one that can limit the carbs until I found Magic Spoon. My favorite is the delicious peanut butter, and I can eat it in the morning or at night as a fueling snack. They have a bunch of great flavors. So click the link below to get some Magic Spoon today. You can build your very own custom box and use my code PhillyTake for $5 off. You can choose from the best-selling cocoa, fruity, frosted peanut butter, and maple waffle flavors, plus other awesome flavors including honey nut, blueberry muffin, birthday cake, cinnamon roll, and chocolate chip cookie. Go click the link down below to grab a variety pack and try it today. Be sure to use the promo code PhillyTake at checkout to get $5 off any order, or just go to magicspoon.com/PhillyTake. In fact, Magic Spoon is so confident in their product that it is backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So go down to the description and click the link below or scan the QR on the screen. Use code PhillyTake to get $5 off. Look, man, there is just no other way to put this. This has been the worst offseason. In 2018 and 19, at least they had a plan. And now it was an awful plan drawn up in terms of bully ball. At least they had a plan. They have no plan right now. They have no plan. And man, I'm just so infuriated. And they dropped the news last night. Can we stop dropping news at midnight and at 7 a.m. in terms of bombshells, right? There's a whole bunch of other news today. I can't even talk about it yet. And we'll have to get to that in a few days because they're dropping it on Saturday nights and at midnight. Who signs Danny Green at midnight? This team is all over the place right now. But I want to start it off with a beam of positivity. Yes, just one little spotlight of something positive before we rant. And shout out to my guy Sean Bernard for putting this on Twitter today. We will be reacting probably to most of this interview on the Pat Bev Pod. He had Nick Nurse on. I haven't even listened to the whole thing yet because we've been so, swarmed with Sixer news today. But, it looks like it was a good interview. And Nick Nurse talking about why he chose to coach the Philadelphia 76ers this summer. Let's take a listen.
Was it hard? Obviously, you hear through the grapevine, this team wanted you this summer, this team wanted you. You turned down a lot of money.
Maybe.
Turned down a lot of money. I heard through the grapevine. Maybe. What was your decision from picking Philly?
Just thought that the fit was right with me. Loved the ownership. Loved my connection with Daryl Morey, the president. Obviously, he was in Houston when I was coaching Rio Grande. Just heard nothing but good things about Josh and David, the owners. And obviously coached against them a lot. And I think it's a good team. They have a very good team and some awesome pieces here. So here we are.
So Nick Nurse doing the professional thing here and, just being nice about it. I don't know what good things he heard about the ownership this offseason, but he might be second guessing his decision now. He might be. However, I know he will have these boys ready to play whoever is on the court. And really, he said, yeah, it's the connection with Daryl Morey and some of these other guys, which is ultimately what brought him to Philly. And one other connection that he has is with a guy named Danny Green, who at midnight last night, the Sixers go out and sign to a 1-year deal. His agent, Sam Permute of Rock Nation, tells ESPN the Sixers bring Danny Green back. Now, let's talk about the quick couple positives because, man, the Sixer fan base is down bad right now. I'm telling you, they are down bad. I can't blame them, though. They are sick. They are frustrated. They are tired. They are logged out mentally, physically, right? This is insane. This is insane. The couple positives, we already know. Danny Green has a relationship with Nick Nurse, won the championship in 2019 with the Raptors, and he knows him well. He knows Joel Embiid well. He's a good locker room voice, okay? Let me tell you something, Sixer Nation. I am getting sick and tired of locker room voices, right? PJ Tucker was supposed to be that. How did he help this team? George Niang, Danny Green. The list goes on and on and on. It is time to stop with locker room voices and start with basketball players. This has been an insane offseason. That's all I can say. Here's Danny Green last week, 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. He's on NBA Today. He's an analyst. Danny Green is 36 years old. He barely played last year. You have fans on Twitter talking about Danny Green like he's coming in ready to play a full 82. Danny Green got hurt in Game 6 against the Heat when he was with the Sixers. That was very, very tragic because you know what? Danny Green, in both of his years here in Philly, started off very poorly and got very hot. He proved a lot of us wrong, and he actually played pretty damn well for the most part. But come playoff time, injured, slow, and then he had that tragic injury towards ACL's LCL, right? And he was out, got traded that summer, right? Sixers got DeAnthony Melton. And then last year, he only played 11 games. And if you thought Danny Green was slow before, I mean, look at the guy now. He's a snail. He's actually a snail. He actually appeared in a game against the Sixers last year, and he was slow, and he couldn't do anything. That's why he was out of the Cavs rotation. Look, this has nothing to do with anything personal against Danny Green. I like him as a player, but come on, man. He is washed. He is cooked. Now, if you brought him in for just a locker room voice, okay. And they are reporting that it's a non-guaranteed deal, but it's not even just about Danny Green. Again, it's more of this vision of the offseason. I've been saying it for months. The Sixers have been one step in, one step out, right? What is the plan? You go and you hire Nick Nurse. You go and you keep Joel Embiid and you preach that this team's going to be competitive, but then you keep going and signing these 1-year aged, washed vets. I don't understand other than one thing. There's one painted picture here. And I said it would probably happen after Daryl Morey continually hinted at it. The Sixers are gearing up to clear as much cap space as possible in the 2024 offseason. They have a bunch of 1-year contracts. Tobias will expire. James Harden. Daryl Morey decided not to trade anybody so far. Who knows what's going to happen with Harden? I think the Sixers expected to try to compete and run this back with Nick Nurse. I think Daryl Morey looked at it and said, this team was close again. They're going to run it back, but then Harden threw the curveball. And again, a lot going on with Harden. We'll get to that in a different video. But then he threw that curveball, and now the Sixers are absolutely stuck. Morey was trolling. His biggest mistake still is not trading Tobias to get 2 better value players who even still could expire themselves, right, if he traded for 1-year contracts. But that didn't happen. The Sixers had no draft picks. They picked up nobody, and here you are. They're probably going to let every other player expire other than Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid. But now the problem is, will you be able to attract another star to Philadelphia next offseason? Will they be competitive enough? And with all of the noise about James Harden and what he said about Daryl Morey, will another player want to come to Philadelphia? Those things you got to keep in mind. Really, the only way I see the Sixers pulling themselves out of this is if one of two things happens. Does James Harden come back in good faith and play like he did last year in the regular season? I mean, the answer is probably no. Or does Daryl Morey somehow find a way to flip Harden for a star before the season begins? The answer is also probably no. Here is an updated off-season list. Again, this has been the worst off-season ever. You have a star, and I said the other day, there's no other star in the league, maybe the history of the league, who has been treated this bad right smack in the middle of their prime. 30 years old this upcoming season. Just won an MVP. And this is what you do for a player like Joel Embiid. I get it. He's got to play better in the playoffs. He's got to do this. He's got to do that. No other star has been treated like this. Pat Bev, Mo Bamba, Trez, who's now injured for the year, Paul Reed, and Danny Green. That's your offseason for this team that was moments away from going to the conference finals. You're going to look at it and say, oh, they can compete. Look, there were so many injuries. There were so many unique circumstances this past year. Jimmy Butler carried a team of high schoolers to the finals. Man, this is bad. This is bad. Here's the updated roster, though. Embiid, Maxey, Harden, probably a not. Tucker, probably a not. Tobias, D-Melt, Pat Bev, Daniel House, Jaden Springer, Furkan, Korkmaz, Danny Green, Obama, Paul Reed, Philip Petrusev, and Trez is injured. You can't be serious. You can't be serious trying to sell this. They're going to be just competitive enough to sell tickets, sell jerseys, right? Try to push us the next offseason. But this has been an absolute tragic offseason. If I'm Joel Embiid, I am fuming right now. What are you giving him to help? What are you doing to help? This has just been crazy. And they say, Danny Green, Woj reports he came back because of his good relationship with Embiid and Nick Nurse. That's perfectly fine. But the whole offseason has just been a bunch of confusion. And I can tell you what they're going to do. They're going to ride it out. They're going to hope James Harden comes back. Spoiler, he probably will not. And then they're just going to try to ride out with what they have. I mean, this has been an unfortunate turn of events. And you just got slower again. You got more unathletic. Can Danny pop in and hit a couple threes? Maybe. But there's nothing left in the tank. There's nothing left. How about, Kelly Oubre's still sitting at home. Terrence Davis. There's a bunch of other guys that are 10 years younger. Nope. That's how the team is rounded out. That's how the roster is rounded out right now. It just gets worse. Wake me up from the bad dream. Give me your thoughts down below in the comments section. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. That being said, I will catch you all on the next one. Peace.